Hey On The Clock fans, you're listening to another episode with your hosts Raul and George Martinez as they square off and tackle all of today's hot topics in sports news, trends, current issues happening locally and nationally, as well as highlighting some of our local student athletes across the Sunshine State. Now, welcome your hosts, Raul Lascano and George Martinez. You're on the clock.
Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoe. Love to eat the turkey at the table.
What's going on the clock, radio fans? It's your guy Raul Lascano, and with my right-hand man George Martinez on this pre-Thanksgiving Wednesday, ready for you guys. I hope you're doing good. George, what's up, man? Say what's up to the people, dog.
What up? I'm excited for the show. Thanksgiving is just one day away.
Oh my God.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait. You know how many naps we're going to take? But on the clock radio, we got such a full-packed show for you guys, man. You're going to love this stuff, man. We have Tyson versus Jones Jr. We are going to see what two old people fighting in a grocery store looks like in a ring. It's going to be freaking awesome watching this fight. College football, we have a lot to talk about college football. A lot of things going on in college. A lot of stuff Dabo's saying out of Clemson that we got to bring up on the show. We got to talk about. We got to do our pick'ems as well for college and NFL. In the NFL, we got to talk about Joe Burrow getting hurt, Tua getting benched. The Bucs lose to the Rams. I can't tell you. I think I called that one. And a little head coaching battle with the Ravens and Vrabel over there at the Titans, man. We have lots and lots to talk about. But also coming up is going to be our fantasy football. Who do you start? Who do you bench? With our main stats guy, George Martinez. You don't listen to me. He was spot on this week. Spot on with Cooper Kupp or whatever it was from the Rams. He was spot on with every pick. It was amazing, man. So stick around. It's pre-Turkey Day. It's almost Thanksgiving. Let's Joy Adams stand a little bit. You're on the clock. Don't go anywhere.
My brother likes to masturbate with baby oil. Turkey and sweet.
Oh, I did that at the right time.
Yeah, you did.
I wouldn't be able to do that twice.
You did. There's no way you time that again.
Oh my goodness, that was better, man. How you doing, bro? You pre-cooking, pre-warming? What are you guys doing over there? You guys okay?
Yeah, man. I'm excited for Thursday. Just finish the work day finally. That's all done. I'm enjoying the rest of Wednesday with the fam, going out doing some shopping for the kids. My mom's coming over to watch the kids, so me and the wife sneaking out doing some Christmas shopping for the kids. Since my mom's going to be here, and then get some food ready to go for Thursday, man. How about you guys over there?
Well, we're not ready, but we're going to get ready. Let's put it that we're going to get ready. I think she has plans to go out on Friday for the Black Friday sales. She's going to go with her friends. I told her to take a taser with you, take an asp, whatever you got to do because it's going to be nuts. But we're just baking. We're a baking family on pre-Thanksgiving Day. We're going over some friend's house. They're going to do all the cooking. There's going to be liquor. The number one thing that I don't know if you've been told this, George, is you're a Hispanic male. So I don't know how it is when you were growing up, but the one thing you don't bring to a Hispanic Thanksgiving or even a cookout, you don't bring fucking salad. Don't bring salad. Don't bring.
It's pointless.
If
you're going to bring something productive and you don't want to cook, you bring bread.
Right. You bring bread. You might bring a bottle of wine, but don't bring salad to a Hispanic household. They're gonna look at you and talk about you the entire night. So I was telling us, like, we got to make sure we bring some good stuff over. You know what I'm saying? Because I always look forward to Thanksgiving, man. I always find, I don't know, something always funny happens. Something always crazy happens. I got some funny tips. I got some good Thanksgiving tips for everybody out there. This is serious business, and you're going to laugh at me, George. On my road to becoming a grill master in the barbecue world,
yes.
I had to cook a turkey, and I've had many fails. And as many people know, or women know, men can be very stubborn. They don't want help. We don't read instructions when building shit. You know what I mean? We're very stupid in that aspect, right? We're dumb. But, bro, the first time I ever cooked a turkey, I said, I'm going to deep fry a turkey. So I was like, oh, man, this is going to be great. I bought everything I needed. I bought the pot, I bought the oil, I bought the little propane tank that's just separate for its own. It's great. I'm in my backyard. There was no patio roof at the time. There was nothing there. It was just me in the backyard. I was like, okay, if anything happens, at least it happens out here in the middle of the yard. You know what I mean? Just in case. I get the turkey. I take the freaking guts out of it. This is a true story, George. This is a true story. Oh my kids, this is a true story. Take the guts out. I don't know if you ever do this, but I did this and it would have turned out great. But you lather the whole turkey, right?
Of course.
With butter. I put butter all over the turkey, rosemary, oregano, spices, all kinds of stuff. You put all over it so it just sucks in the juice and everything, right? Yeah, I kind of messed that up. So what I forgot to do, I forgot to defrost the turkey. Oh, no. So I got this turkey and I'm
straight out of the freezer.
Oh my God. I took it out I'm taking the guts, I'm putting everything in. I put this damn turkey in that pot, man.
So how did you take the guts out? It was frozen.
So I know, well, I hate to describe this to the radio, but I shoved my fucking hand all the way up and I pulled those guts out. You know, it was very Rambo-like freaking step. Yeah. I pulled the stuff out. I'm just bags of stuff. I sprayed it off a little bit. I got the little icicles off, and spraying is what more water on this fucking thing, right? So I've lathered it up and I put the hook in it. And I'm like, okay,
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
It's go time.
The freaking oil's hot. It's bubbling. I'm ready to freaking dip this thing in it. So I got it on a stick because they say you'll put it on a stick and you just look. Man.
And to lower down slowly.
Listen to me. I thought to myself, this is normal. That's a normal sound. That's supposed to be it's supposed to do that. I put it in there, couldn't even get the lid on, and it freaking exploded out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I still got the burnt marks on my back of my arm from that freaking turkey, man. It fell on the ground, right? It fell on the ground. And I'm supposed to be hosting. I'm hosting Thanksgiving.
No.
Yeah, I'm hosting Thanksgiving, and it freaking fell in the yard. I had to pick up this thing with the stick, the oil, the dirt that's on this goddamn thing with butter and everything. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Well, little did I know, I was like, okay, well, we have the ham, we got the mac and cheese, we got all the sides. We're just not gonna have a turkey on Turkey Day. You know what I'm saying?
Thanksgiving though.
We're gonna
have turkey.
Yo, to the rescue comes Keisha. Like a superwoman, just flying through the air. She comes in and she goes, don't worry about it. Let me get the hose. She sprays off the turkey. Dirt comes off this thing. She injects it with juice. She lets put it in the oven. We can make this work. Because this is like 5 a.m. We can get this working. We can do
early
this.
Enough. Yeah,
we can get this done. Trust me. Yo, that turkey was the best lawn dirt fertilized turkey I ever had. She saved that damn turkey, man.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell anybody that came over that day? Did you tell the story?
So
at the table.
So listen to me. All my family members have subscribed to this podcast. All of them. They don't miss an episode. Every time we talk about something, they text me that day or the very next day. They're all going to remember this turkey. And they're like, because I've only hosted once.
That was it.
Once to my family.
You had a debut and a closing debut. That's it.
We've had Thanksgiving dinner. We've had Thanksgiving dinner. I just never invited anybody else back over. You know what I'm saying? That was it. It was too much pressure.
You've hosted within your family.
Oh, absolutely. It was like kicking the winning field goal. It's all on you. Everything is on you. Man. I was like, fuck this. I'm never having these guys come back over again.
So here's a fun fact. Yeah. I'll give you a fun fact. I'll share a Thanksgiving situation. Me and the wife got married in 2011. It's been 9 years. We've been together about 15. Know each other for
beautiful, blessed 9 years, right?
Yes.
You got to say that because if you don't, she's going to be all over your pillow talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've never hosted Thanksgiving, period.
Oh, God bless you.
Now, I volunteered several times. And she goes, no. She goes, no.
She knows.
At first it was like, wait till we get a house. And then it was like, well, wait till we have kids.
Yeah.
Now she's like, you know what? Because then it was like, well, you know, if I had a double oven,
right.
it'd be so much easier. Got a double oven. And she said, you know what? Let's start with Christmas first.
Let's let Biden win first, and then we'll figure.
let's host Christmas dinner before we tackle on Thanksgiving.
Right.
She goes, Thanksgiving is the meal, and I go, I know.
Yeah.
Now, growing up, I'm curious to kind of find out your take on this.
Yeah.
So, you know, as growing up as Hispanic males, typically it's pork.
Yes.
It's a pig that gets
Yes.
done.
Yes.
It's a box pig
Yep.
underground.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it's there at least there for 19, 20 hours. You start, like you said, 5 o'clock in the 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You're putting the pig in there. It's going in the box. It's
Yeah.
going in there.
By
That's
halftime
what
of the
I grew up.
second game on Turkey Day, it's done.
That's right. It's always that second game about halftime.
Yeah.
So about 3 o'clock.
Right.
Which is
Exactly.
perfect time.
Exactly.
Because then you're eating leftovers during the 8 o'clock game and you're passed out.
Yeah.
Before
So
the game is
you
even
had
over.
you had the entire pig rotating,
Yes.
and yeah, man, they did the same thing in my family, man. It was, the Cuban. That's the Cuban. Come to find out, this is the messed up part about that turkey story. They didn't even eat the fucking turkey. They just wanted lechon and they wanted the rice and beans.
Yeah.
They want all that. They were like, yeah, screw the turkey. We want the pork and the freaking ham. I was like, well, I guess we could have left that turkey in the dirt, but whatever.
Yeah, right.
I've spent
Yeah,
freaking
if one of us
$40 on a
ate it.
butterball. I guess that didn't matter.
Yeah. So for Christmas, my dad does the pig now.
Nice. That's good
And that's
tradition.
Christmas dinner. And then we usually, and I'm not, when I say it, you know exactly what this is, coquito.
Yeah.
Usually it's usually, a nice little rum bottle that's done.
Right.
Coquito's made and it gets passed around throughout
Oh,
the
yeah.
day. And
Oh yeah, and
take a
you're
shot of it.
blazed. Yeah, it's good stuff, and it hits
so
you
strong.
hard. You drink that thing fast, and if anybody doesn't know,
Oh.
it hits you in the back of your skull. The
And
first
quickly.
time Keisha ever saw the whole pig thing in her, because they had I know this sounds really bad. This is gonna sound really bad, but I promise you, nothing racist
That's
about this.
great.
There was tiki torches. It has Christmas lights. You know what I mean? It's a nighttime dinner.
Well, you know why the tiki torches are there? So the mosquitoes don't mess with the
So
pig.
they don't mess with the pig. But I say tiki torches ever since South Carolina. I'm just like,
Yeah.
guys, it was cool at one point to have a tiki torch. These guys ruined it. But anyway, they had the tiki torch to keep away the smoke away from
Right.
and everything, the pit, and then they had the lights and had music. But she saw the whole. She's like, "Is that an entire pig?" I was like, "From the rooter to the tutor, baby. It's there."
So the first time my wife saw it, when she comes over to my grandfather, because I always did at my grandfather's house,
Right.
and the first time she goes, "Is that a pig?" And it's gonna be delicious.
Right.
So I don't know how your family did it. Mine. So you grab a plate,
Yep.
you grab a fork,
You get in
and
fucking
you
line.
walk over to the pig, and you take off.
Right.
You scrape off what you want to eat.
Well, it's done when the biggest guy is.
Is in line.
Yeah, he wants to be in line. He's
Yeah.
standing for 25 minutes. Like he's waiting.
He's waiting.
He's
He's got a
waiting for-
plate.
yeah,
He's ready to go.
Yeah.
But she goes, I'm supposed to.
Oh,
I go, baby, just sit down. I'll make you a plate.
Yeah. I'll go over there because they slice it
I'll
right
take
off, man. They just
Oh,
cut
right
it.
there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's
It's
the best thing in the world.
It's amazing, especially when oh my god. Anyway, it's good stuff, man. But her eyes were. I was like, what do you? I mean, you buy bacon. It's the same.
Right.
She's like,
It's
yeah,
the
but I
same
don't
thing.
see you cutting the pig. I'm like, what are you, vegetarian all of a sudden? Relax. It's a knife.
that's
We're gonna
exactly
cut this
what
thing
I
open.
said.
Yeah, it should be fine.
And it's gonna be delicious. The best thing you ever had.
Yeah, you buy sausage for freaking breakfast, you'll be okay. It's the same. It's the pig. Relax. But speaking of slicing and hitting and cutting open, we have Tyson versus Jones Jr. Man, Roy Jones Jr. this Saturday, man. What are your thoughts on this, man? Because we've been waiting for this fight all year long.
For a year.
Since we
I
started
remember-
the podcast.
Right, with a Mike Tyson
We've been waiting.
potential fight.
Right.
So here we are, 49, almost 50 podcasts later, and we finally get the fight that we've been looking forward to and hyping up all year long.
I can't wait.
Now, help me understand here a little bit.
Sure.
There's speculations to this fight.
What speculations?
So, from what I understood, you cannot knock the other person out.
Yeah.
Which, okay, it's Mike Tyson. I wish we still had the clip that we played a long time ago about
the demons. The demons, yeah.
and Mike Tyson
Yeah.
that are in his head,
Right.
because those demons are out.
Oh, bro.
So for people that listen to the podcast, if you haven't listened to it, there's a clip that Mike Tyson's doing an interview, and he almost starts crying
Yes.
when he starts to explain what it meant to him to box and why he had to leave the game. And he kept talking about these demons that are in his head, and he didn't want those demons back in his life. And he kept talking about those demons came into his life. They're going to take it over, and you kind of see a little switch flip, and he's make to a bitch.
So here's your speculations, okay? And again, I know it's not, how can I say this? I know it's not ideal, but we do have to understand the age of both men, right?
Someone could die.
Yes. So like somebody legit could lose their life. You know what I mean? Like somebody could legit die. I mean, and I know people are like, no, that's extreme. No, it's not. We've never seen this type of age in a boxing ring.
Competitive. In a competitive manner also at that.
Because it doesn't, and again, it doesn't matter what rules you put in front of these guys. These were lions back in their day, and I don't care what anybody says. You wake a sleeping giant, here they come. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like you're talking about the demons, the inner stuff. The only thing I have the reference to is, have you ever seen, I know there's like 12 Rocky movies, but in Rocky, one of the movies was Rocky. He had to fight Tarver, right? And in the movie, it was this simulation, who would win, Tarver or Rocky. The simulation had Rocky doing it. Well, Rocky wanted to fight Tarver in an exhibition match, and it was, he kept saying, I have things in the basement. I think Tyson still has things in the basement that he wants to get out. You know what I mean? Here is the Tyson Jones rules, your speculations. You're not going to like them. A lot of fans are going to like them, but I don't care what you say. They're still going to pay for this. They're still going to pay for these crazy rules, okay? There is no official judges at this match. No official judges at the match. They're going to have some guest celebrity judges remotely. Not official, okay? Not official judges. There is no 10-9 score, okay? There's no cumulative score. They're not even going to announce a damn winner, is what they're saying. This is what they're saying, okay? Here's the other rules in place for this exhibition. The bout is going to be 8 rounds at 2 minutes each. 2 minutes, not 3 like normal. The boxers they don't have to wear headgear, so they're not required to. Tyson and Jones will be wearing 12-ounce gloves, so that's pretty normal, I guess you would say. If either boxer suffers a bad cut, the exhibition is automatically over. So if they have a bad cut, it's a wrap, they're done. So we're hoping nobody gets cut, okay? And Tyson and Jones did have to go over medical testing for this to get cleared to fight this fight. Voluntary anti-doping agency did the testing. So we're going to see how this goes. Those are the rules. The other one is there is no knockouts. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can you have boxing with Tyson and there not be a knockout?
A potential of a knockout.
Bro, I don't know if you remember Roy Jones Jr.'s last 3 fights. The last 3 matches. Do you remember those at all?
I don't.
His chin was about as hard as a wet paper tissue when it hits toilet paper water. When it hits the toilet water, it's as soft as that tissue when it hits toilet water. That's how soft his jaw is in those last 3. And those were the end of his prime days, okay? Because he took a nasty punch, and it pretty much just any little tap on it. Because once you get a concussion, you pretty much any time you get tapped, then it becomes you get concussions quicker. Right. Same thing happened to Jones. His jaw just couldn't take it anymore. You've been watching the freaking Tyson videos. Does that man look like he is going to hold back a punch?
No.
And that's where I'm telling you, I don't think fucking Mike Tyson holds back, man. I think Mike Tyson throws one of those left punches, not trying to purposely hurt Jones, but because he trains the way he trains, he's going to knock. I think he knocks out Roy Jones Jr. I think he knocks him out, man. And I saw Roy Jones Jr., we talked about on the podcast. I saw him training. He's in training in sandals. Okay? I'm not taking you seriously, buddy.
He's training like it's a true exhibition match.
Yes.
Mike Tyson is training like it's a championship heavyweight, number 1 in the world bout.
Have you ever seen a 53-year-old male like the way Tyson looks?
No.
Me neither, bro. No. And did you see how he's hitting that bag? Bro.
I don't want to see that guy in the middle of the street on the street fight.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, again, I do want to see the fight. I don't even care if it's $200. I'm watching this fight. I don't care. They're going to take my money for this because I got to see this. But I think Tyson he F's him up, man. So it's this Saturday. They're going to have they're going to have performances by musicians. I think Lil Wayne's performing. I think there's Meg Thee Stallion. I think there's a whole they're making it big. They're going to do all this pre stuff before the fight because there's no what do you call it? boxing cards. There's no pre-matches. There's no, lightweights or nothing like
Yeah,
that.
it's just a main match, and that's it.
And that's it, man. And it's 2 minutes around, so it's going to be quick.
Yeah, if it doesn't last long, you gotta give people something for the $80.
Bro, there's people taking bets in Vegas that Tyson doesn't go 3 to 4 rounds. I'm like, bro, you better bet if Jones can go 3 or 4 rounds.
Right?
Because again, it doesn't even have to be a body shot. It doesn't have to be a face shot knockout. It can be a body shot. This dude is hitting like he's trying to break bones, man.
I'll just remind you of this, man. And I'll correlate this back to football. Drew Brees had 11 cracked ribs.
Exactly.
By a tackle.
Exactly.
Right. And again, I'm using Drew Brees as an example because he's older. Right. Drew Brees in his 40s. These guys are in their 50s. Right. You take one of those body shots over and over and over again. And Drew Brees has shoulder pads, rib cage protectors on.
Right.
And he still had 11 messed up ribs.
Yep.
You imagine a guy that is hitting it repeatedly with that much force, with no protection over a short period of time. It's bound to happen.
Oh, Roy Jones Jr. is gonna piss blood. I have no doubt. He's gonna pee blood, man, the next morning or even that night. It's gonna be literally fighting an infant. So God bless him. I hope he makes it through. I just don't foresee. I don't know. Jones, I think, gets some good shots in because it's 2 different styles of boxing.
It is.
It's 2 different styles. Jones is gonna, he's gonna jab his way through the whole match, and hopefully he has enough wind to stay away from Tyson.
Yeah, right.
But if
he's
Tyson,
gonna Floyd Mayweather, he's gonna pull Floyd Mayweather and try to dance around and stay away from the big hit.
I would. I mean, I'm not trying to get knocked out by Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? For $20 million, I will, but I mean, I'm not trying to. But I think he tries to play keep away. I think Tyson cuts the ring off, and I think he lands 2 good body shots, and we're gonna see Roy Jones Jr. give birth to a baby after he punches him in the stomach because he's gonna change his whole chromosomes if he lands a good goddamn punch on him, man. It's gonna be something serious, man. So I hope that's what's going on Saturday night. For Saturday, we have a lot of college football games, a lot of games that we foresee being good games. I know the college football rankings came out. I know you wanted to talk about that, and I know everybody else does, and I certainly want to talk about rankings because if my Hurricanes have not broken into the playoff bracket or close to it, I'm going to be upset. But go ahead. What do we got for college rankings? So
I'll put you at ease.
Okay.
They came in at number 10.
How?
So they're in the – now, I'm going to start off by saying –
just give me the
there's
top.
Some teams here that I don't agree with.
That's what I want to hear. Because you know what? You're a realist. You're a realist. You understand this stuff. You look at football and you're like, you're not a biased guy. You're a numbers person. So who shouldn't be there, number one, so we could protest them on Twitter? And then who is there?
So, I mean, you got your top 4. Alabama, Notre Dame. I know it pains you to see that.
Fucking hurts my heart.
Clemson is number 3. Ohio State is 4.
Ohio State's 4 with 4-0 games. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, and they talked about it. They feel that Ohio State is the weakest of the 4, which is why they got them at 4.
Okay.
At 5, you got Texas A&M. At 6, you got Florida.
That's
which,
legit.
again, Texas A&M beat Florida early in the year. I think Texas A&M is just there for shits and giggles. They don't really matter. At the end of the day.
Probably to piss off Gator fans.
Well, if Florida wins out,
they're
going to play Alabama in the SEC championship game. The winner of that game is going to go to the college playoffs.
Oh, boy.
So, now, 7 through 10 is where it gets a little interesting.
Okay.
You got an undefeated but questionable Cincinnati team at number 7.
Right.
You got Northwestern, who's coming off of their big win against Wisconsin.
Jesus Christ. At number 8?
They're undefeated.
Northwestern at number 8.
They are undefeated,
sure.
And they had a big win against Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a 5-2,
right?
University of Georgia.
And we're number 10,
and you guys are right behind them.
See, that's
where I disagree.
See, college football, for whatever reason, since the 80s, has hated the University of Miami. They hate us. You mean to tell me Georgia's 5-2, we're 7-1, and they're ahead of us?
Yeah.
It has, and I know what you're gonna tell me. It's the strength of schedule, bro. Like,
Well, and
Whatever, man.
Well, your 2 losses comes against 2 teams that are in front of you. Florida waxed them.
Yeah.
And that's why, and their strength schedule is there. And again, for Miami, I think it's more about we haven't seen you play lately.
Yeah, we haven't. And the last in 2 weeks. That freaking Clemson game, since we got annihilated by those guys.
That's the last thing. Well, then they went on to beat Virginia Tech, and they beat some teams after that. But to me, if they had played Clemson a little better, they would be a little higher. After that, I mean,
but what's the strength of schedule for Northwestern if they're number 8? Like, shouldn't they? Wouldn't it be better if Georgia was 8, Miami's 9, Northwestern 10? Like, I can understand that. I can understand that portion of it. You know what I mean? Because you still got BYU that's 9-0, which probably they haven't played anybody. But
they're 14th. They're 14th. They haven't played anybody.
See what I'm saying? This is the hypocrisy of this crap. But again, playoff rankings and power schedules, it makes no sense. Northwestern number 8. Has Northwestern ever been ranked that high before?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure back in the 70s or 80s.
Look at you, 70s. Look at you.
They were ranked that high.
When we use asbestos on brakes. Like that's
the
last time that's awesome. Thanks.
But it's a first go at it.
Yeah.
They're going to do it every week from this point going forward. There's still a lot of games that we played.
Yeah.
You're going to have, a lot of these teams that are in the top 10 are end up knocking each other out.
I hope so. I hope Northwestern lose now. Now I got to go against Northwestern.
Them and Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame, those guys. Notre Dame, those sons of bitches. Anything else? I know we talked about college football. We got you got Clemson, Dabo just going nuts on the freaking Seminoles. He is not happy for whatever reason. He is pissed off.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why. He feels so. Clemson makes a trip to Tallahassee. They're at the team hotel.
Oh,
they're there. They are there. Yeah. This game got canceled Friday night. So
let me tell you something. You know what that's called, right?
Yes, but educate.
You don't
the subscribers.
Okay, that's called bucking. You bucked us.
Yes,
you bucked us. We pulled up on you, and you bucked us. That's a Tampa thing, by the way.
Yeah, and he came out. And he was upset, but he seemed to blame it on the administration of Florida State because he talked about, I'm sure the players were ready to play. Right. I'm sure the coaches were ready to coach, but still the game got canceled.
Do you think
so? The only person that could have made that decision is administration for Florida State. Now we talked about this in our shows before. How long before COVID comes up as an excuse to not get destroyed?
And that's probably what he's pissed off about is that the freaking faculty already knew about the COVID. They already knew you had me fly out here. You had me get on the plane. You had my players come on this way. You knew you were going to cancel. Like you knew that's probably what got back to him. Is like these guys knew on Tuesday they didn't have enough players or they were going to put COVID as a reason why they're not going to play. You know what I mean? That's probably what he's pissed off about. And now I love what you told me before the show. What did Dabo tell him if you want to play us?
So Dabo came out and basically is treating FSU like a Division III NIA or NAIA school. If you want to play Clemson,
right?
A, you got to come to us,
right?
Or B, you got to pay for our expenses.
Oh, he wants that money.
And he's telling that to FSU,
right.
A Power 5 program.
Well. I don't know if they're Power 5 anymore. They're more like Powder Puff, but go ahead. Yeah.
Basically, he's treating them like Appalachian State. Appalachian State pays money every year to go to Michigan or Ohio State or whoever they have a contract to go play that year.
Right.
And that's how Dabo wants. He says, you know what? We are the ticket in town.
Yeah.
You want to play us? Pay us.
And basically, I know that the listeners aren't going to like this. I hope your kids are in the car. But basically, Dabo's saying, fuck you, pay me. I'm not coming back out here. I don't even like Florida. I don't even like Disneyland. Screw you guys. You want to play me, see me in Tiger County. And again, I'd be pissed off too, though, man. I'd be upset if I had to take 53 men, their bags, I got to fly down here. We got to get in the hotels. We paid for all this stuff. And you guys knew you weren't going to play us on Saturday, which this is why I tell people I respect FSU, but I don't like them because they're always with some funny business backdoor and bullshit. You know what I mean? They're always with some crap. I know James Wilder isn't going to hear that. I know he's going to be pissed off to hear me say that. And he's going to listen to the show, and he's probably going to send me a tweet saying, screw you, buddy. You know what I mean? But he still owes me my freaking bet that we had for dinner. But I don't blame Dabble, man. I don't blame him whatsoever. And since we got coaches beef, and we'll just jump into this one, into the NFL. And
here's where I go on mute.
This is let's start with the Ravens and Vrabel. We'll save your Bucs for last, but we'll start with Vrabel and Harbaugh. Which, by the way, if you had to put your bet on something, and let's be honest, you had to put a bet on Vrabel versus Harbaugh, who do you think gets the fight? Who do you think wins in that fight? Like a fist fight, an actual fist fight.
Mike Vrabel, for sure.
Oh, fuck yeah. I think he does one of these numbers right. I think he does one of these numbers where he grabs him, pins him to the ground, puts his knee in one leg, and then just starts just immediately giving a dozen of these pound into the faces, maybe a couple little elbows, UFC style, to the freaking face, just busting up Harbaugh a little bit because Mike Vrabel's nothing to play with, which, by the way, if you look at the Tennessee Titans and how they've been playing the last 2-3 years, they have really taken on the personality of their head coach. That tough guy, take no shit, no nonsense. Everybody in the NFL, in the stadium, if they had people in the stadium or not, we're going to run it with the big guy. We're going to put it right down your throat 45 times. Good luck stopping this train. Oh, by the way, he can jump cut and he can outrun you to the end zone, so good luck with that. But they've really adopted him. And again, kudos to Harbaugh for going out there. So if you listeners don't know what happened on Sunday, Harbaugh's playing, the Ravens are playing the Titans. And a lot of the Titan players come to the middle of the Ravens logo in the field, which we've had this happen to us, George. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's only 3 things that'll get me amped up to fight somebody. Like, my family, if you do something like that, my car, you know what I mean? So you violate some kind of rule. And you are not supposed to jump on the logo in the middle of somebody's home field. You just don't do that. So a couple things with that. Good kudos to Harbaugh going out there talking, jabbering, Vrabel saying whatever. Titans get the win in overtime. They go shake hands, and Harbaugh gives them like the old school, fuck you, get away from me. Or the old school, like your mom's in the store. Like, don't you touch the goddamn cereal. Do not put another thing in this goddamn cart.
The backhand.
Yeah, don't touch me. Like, get away from me. So, you got that beef going on. Couple things with that, George, and I'm going to get your opinion on this. I didn't see any Raven players jump out there with their head coach. I think there's trouble in Baltimore. I think there's problems brewing in there. I think you also have players, one being Lamar Jackson, kind of putting out there that he doesn't agree with the play calling. He doesn't agree with the personnel. He's now starting to talk a little bit. I think Harbaugh not having the backing of his team come out there. Your coach is getting to a verbal, altercation with a player from another team, and then the head coach as well. I don't think they have his back that way. You know what I mean? Do you think there's trouble in Baltimore when it comes to stuff like that? Because those things to me mean a lot. When I'm looking at a team, especially if my coach was getting into some shit, oh yeah, let me grab my helmet, put this thing on, we're gonna rumble. Old school Miami Hurricane FIU rumble. We're gonna do this. Nobody came out to support him. Do you think there's trouble in Baltimore?
I think so, because back to your point, the entire Tennessee bench and team was right behind Mike Vrabel.
Oh God,
all
ready,
ready
to fight. Coach, punch him.
Ready
punch
to
him.
go.
It looked like the grade school. I'm gonna shove you into that other kid so we get this fight started.
Right.
Let's get this shit on right now. Fuck this game. We're gonna get this going.
And it just seemed like Harbaugh was out there with like 3 or 4 guys,
staff members.
I counted more refs than I did Raven players.
I think one of the guys was a get-back coach. I think one of them was a get-back coach who, if he's the get-back coach, that means he's not the guy to take out to the bar fight.
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah.
But I think there is problems. Lamar Jackson has come out and talked about their predictable play calling.
Yep.
And, they're not – they don't do anything. They run the same 4 or 5 plays.
Yeah.
And you're in the NFL.
It's not going to work.
And now you got teams that are saying, okay, we're going to load the box. We're going to play man coverage. The Ravens don't have a legit receiver that worries a defense.
Well, now that they activated Dez Bryant, do you think he going into the future will go ahead and make some secondary worries? Because he looked okay with those couple of catches he had for the day. But again, I don't think anybody was really worried about him.
Dez is going to be a possession receiver.
Like a Hines Ward type deal, right?
Yeah.
Get you a first down.
He's not going to have the speed to be somebody over the top. He'll be physical, and he'll get in there and bump with some guys, but he's going to struggle to beat man-to-man coverage, especially against good DBs.
Yeah.
So they don't have anybody else. Malcolm Brown does okay, but now this week they got 10 total between staff members, 5 staff members, 5 players on the COVID list that are not playing.
Yep.
J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram kind of headline the line for them, and they get the pleasure of playing a 10-0 Steelers team who comes in red hot after beating Jacksonville in a game they seemed bored in.
Oh, my God.
So, and this is on Turkey. I know it was one of our picks later, but does this begin the end of Harbaugh? Because now 6-4, you go 6-5. You're in danger of not making the playoffs at all.
Right, and not only that, you have a sleeper team that's coming up over in the West Coast with those Raiders, who played the Chiefs very nicely, who looks like they're starting to become a dominant offensive unit.
When would you have thought the Browns would be ahead of the Ravens in the division?
Oh my God! They're 7-3, bro.
And the Ravens are on the verge of being 6-5.
They are, man. They're on. This is a must-win for the Ravens. It doesn't matter if it's Turkey Day or not. They have to win this football game. Everybody and I know in the Miami Dolphin world is hoping that Pittsburgh loses. I'm pretty sure, like, and George being from a Latin background, every Santeria is freaking just,
absolutely.
Oh my God, every voodoo, everything they can do down in South Beach, they're trying to get Pittsburgh to lose this football game. I don't know. I don't think it's the end of Harbaugh, but he definitely has got to get his hands around the team again and figure out where they went wrong. And then he's got to sit down with his quarterback and figure it out. You know what I mean? Which I think he'll do, because they were red hot last year. This is not the same offense as last year. I think teams figured out what's going on. We're just going to sit back here. We're going to rush 4. Beat us with your arm, kid. Let's see what you got type deal. And again, that's always the weakness of a quarterback that likes to run. You know what I mean? That doesn't really take the time to progress, which I've seen progression out of Lamar Jackson. I have seen that, but I don't know, man. There's trouble in Baltimore, just like there's going to be trouble in Miami. I can't believe they sat Tua.
No, so I think, and I definitely want to get your take here on this. So Joe Burrow goes down with a gruesome, ugly injury.
Oh my God! Did you see the video?
Right, I did. It was bad.
It was Joe Theismann bad.
Yeah.
Oh my
was
God!
bad.
It was horrible.
And almost immediately later, I get an ESPN notification that the Dolphins benched Tua.
Yeah.
Now, went back and looked at some of the numbers. When they took Tua out, now they're blaming on he wasn't playing well.
Yeah,
benched
that's what they're saying. Yeah.
He was at the time like 6 for 18 or something, throwing the ball, whatever it was. He had been sacked 6 times already.
Yeah,
in that game. So the line was struggling to protect him. I think the Dolphins saw what happened to Joe Burrow over in Washington during the game and said, "Get him out." Protect him.
And it very well could be, but this is where I go back to telling you, Fitzpatrick was hot. You're playing very well. Let the kid learn. Let the kid understand. If he doesn't get to play another down in the NFL this year, don't feel bad. You did your job in grooming him. If it was Fitzpatrick that goes down, then okay, we have Tua ready to go. But don't play the kid and all blame it on that he was, not doing very well in Benjamin. Because just like we talked about, he's a rookie. You're going to have these lumps. You're going to have these ups and downs and things. Oh, wait a minute, I've never seen that type of coverage, or I've never seen that type of defense type thing. It's going to throw him for a curveball. You're going to have to take these lumps. Just like, we've talked about freshman quarterback. They're going to have some lumps with them. They're going to, there's going to be some growing pains with this. Tua's going to have some growing pains. So you have to expect a game like that. Now, you can't expect for Fitzpatrick to come in, put a little Fitz magic on the freaking game and pull out a win for you. Like, you just can't do that thinking it was going to happen. I think like you think. I think they saw Joe Burrow. I think they saw that knee injury and was like, yo, this kid's already been sacked 6 times. Let's not push our freaking luck. Because me personally, Joe Burrow getting injured is completely the entire organization of Cincinnati's fault.
Agreed.
From the owner to the general manager to the assistant head coach to the head coach to the get back coach to the equipment coach to the film and study coach to the guys that load up the plane with their bags and shit coach to the trainer to the medical staff. You are all to blame for Joe Burrow going down, because everybody, every announcer, every commentator has said Why put your star quarterback, your number one draft pick, behind an offensive line like that? It's bound to freaking happen, and it did.
I completely agree.
It's sad,
They should have sat him for the entire year, built an offensive line. So what? You go 0-16, 1-15, 2-14. What does it matter?
Right.
You draft some more linemen, you sign some more linemen, you build it up front. That way you put the young man in a situation where he can play multiple games.
And it's not even like the crowd can tell you to put him in either. Like, they're not going to throw beer on the field.
Right.
Right.
I'm going to point out two organizations that have done this recently. And where are their quarterbacks today? Aaron Rodgers,
right,
when he got drafted by the Packers, sat behind Brett Favre.
What, 4 years, 5 years, something like that?
For several years.
Yeah.
And now he's probably going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Absolutely.
He's doing all right.
First ballot.
Patrick Mahomes, people forget, he sat his entire rookie year behind Alex Smith.
Sure did.
And that was when the Chiefs were doing okay, but still struggled.
Yep.
But they built the offensive line. They built their defense. They brought in weapons. So at the time that Patrick Mahomes got ready to take the keys of the organization and become the face of the franchise, he was ready to go.
Yep.
Worries me is, too many people want wins now.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. The league, you used to have coaches that stayed for 5 to 10 years. You used to be able to build them. You can't. You're on a 2-year contract. Whether they sign you for 5 years, you got 2 years to show me that you can get over 500, make the playoffs, break some kind of record, make us look really, really good, and then we'll consider keeping you, because at any moment you could be fired for not doing your job. I agree with you.
Think about it. Think about Jim Carwell, who was a coach for the Detroit Lions. He got fired for going 9-7.
Yep.
And making the playoffs.
He did. Yeah.
And he got replaced by Matt Patricia, who's been a 400 winning percentage coach since he replaced him. And the Lions haven't gotten 9 wins since.
That's right. I agree with you, man. I agree that you can't rush. You can't rush greatness. It takes 21 years to be 21 years old. Like, you can't make a 17-year-old 21. It's not going to work that way. Don't rush these guys.
You wonder why organizations like the Patriots do so well.
Exactly.
Even during the bad years, they always suck with Bill Belichick. Mike Tomlin, right? The years, and Mike Tomlin, kudos to that guy. That guy's never had a losing season in 15 years.
Especially when he had no AB, he had no Ben Roethlisberger, and he still pulled it out.
He allowed a once back then Antonio Randall to walk.
Yep.
They allowed Emmanuel Sanders to walk.
Yep.
They are, to me, wide receiver U. Because they somehow manufacture receivers.
They do, man. Pittsburgh. They do, and they know what to do with them.
They draft somebody that they show up and they play well. But again, they've always stuck with Mike Tomlin, even when things weren't looking, when there was an 8-8 season.
Right.
Because they believe in him and the organization.
And what he can do. Yeah.
Those things don't exist a whole lot in today's society. Hopefully we can learn something from these. And hopefully the Dolphins decide, you know what, let's sit Tua.
Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they sit him for the rest of the year thinking, like, yeah, we got to save this kid. I hope Joe Burrow does not come back. I know this is going to sound crazy. I don't want him to come back in 2021. I hope he takes his time, come back in the fall of 2022. Yeah. Take your time, especially when you hear words. And it wasn't that the ACL torn and MCL scares me. When they say the instruction or the industrial structure of the knee or whatever they put it, that lets me know, like, you blew out this knee.
Yeah.
Like, something happened bone-wise that this is not the same typical knee. The structure of the knee as an injury, no. That means lots of pins and needles in that freaking thing. And take your time.
Needles, potentially leg loss.
Yes.
Think about Alex Smith.
Oh, God.
When he went through that kind of stuff. So hopefully the guy's speedy recovery and recovers well and comes back to being the same old guy he was before. But yeah, don't play in 2020, my man. Come back in 2022.
Yeah.
Let the Bengals figure it out. Get you a line. Get you some protection up front, so that way you can be successful.
I agree with you, man, because you hit something on the point here. They stuck with Mike Tomlin, right? He's a good coach. How long does the Bucs stick with Bruce Arians? Because I want to talk to you about your Bucs and the loss to the Rams. And I'm gonna try to go quick here because we got to still talk about pick'ems and fantasy football. But your Bucs losing to the Rams, I don't think is embarrassing. I don't think because teams will lose. It just happens in the NFL. I think what's ridiculous is the expectation that was placed on your team from the get-go. I think that was kind of high and ridiculous. But, bro, I don't think it was Tom Brady's fault. Now, everybody listens to me is going to be like, what? You're crazy. You didn't see the game. I did see the game. I know everybody, that last play is definitely his fault. It is completely his fault not seeing the safety. I watched the play over and over. If you're looking at Tom Brady at the defense, the left side safety flew over the top, which he probably hasn't done the entire game, but he decided to do it that game because Tom Brady just stared down Brate the whole way. I get it. I still think if the safety doesn't go over, he overthrows Brate by 4 yards. But whatever. I think the whole game is really, honestly, your coach's fault. Bruce and your OC. I really think it's those guys' fault. I know we talked about it earlier. These guys got to get their shit together. I told you this before the season started. I said there's no way he listens to Byron Leftwich the entire game. There's no way that he sits there and sticks behind this guy and does what he want to do. What is your take on the Rams loss? You're a Bucs fan. You know more about the Bucs than I do. What is your take on the freaking, getting beat by the Rams, who everybody thinks, oh, this is the Rams from last year, and it's not. They have gotten their shit together, and they're making a legit run at trying to make the playoffs and compete in them.
So, yesterday was very painful for me to watch.
Oh, I bet.
Here's what I'm going to say. As a Buck fan, we underestimated the loss of Vita Vea up front because I saw us go through a situation the entire game where we weren't getting a pass rush. I don't know the last time I saw Shaquille Barrett make a sack. Mm-hmm. I don't know the last time I saw him get a quarterback pressure. I've seen him jump off sides plenty of times trying to time a snap count.
Yes.
That I have seen. But I really haven't seen him be the guy that he was last year. And when I come back and think about it, Vita Vea is in the middle of the field getting double teamed like he was, opening up one-on-one single coverage for Shaquille Barrett. And I think it's exposing our secondary a bit because they got to cover for a long time. Goff's jersey was clean. That guy may have some sweat stains. But other than that, it's clean. There's no dirt on his jersey. It's still at Raymond James. So defensively, that's my opinion. Offensively, it's a combination of both. Bruce Arians came out and said that Tom Brady struggled and he got confused by coverages. I'm sorry. This guy's a 20-year vet. There is no coverage he has not seen before.
Well, let me go. I have that quote, by the way. I have it right here. I have it pulled up. I've been waiting all day to talk about it. All right. Let me first off, I don't know why your head coach is talking about your starting quarterback this way, about your team. I think he needs to learn to shut up. You're going to ruin a good thing. Tom doesn't look like he's happy. But this is what he said, according to Rick Stroud at NFL Stroud. He covers the Bucs and he covers all those guys. He said, Arians on Tom Brady's accuracy, and I quote, other than the deep ball, I think he's getting confused a few times with the coverage. That might be the cause for some inaccurate balls, but I don't see it at all in practice. We're not missing the deep ball in practice, and that's for sure. So let me pull you my pants down, Tom Brady, and give you a big to this guy because, bro, why are you telling people that shit on, the news outlet media? Like,
you don't, man. You keep your dirty laundry in house. That's how
it gets worse.
That's the way I was raised.
It gets worse. He goes on to say, Tom Brady doesn't have a confidence problem, but at times there may be a lack of trust because of the lack of continuity. He is calling some of his own plays or picking them from the sidelines between series. Bro, this is something you do not air out. You do not say your quarterback is picking his own freaking plays. You don't tell him that he does it on the sideline between series. That means you're like, yeah, you know what? We'll try this one. Fuck it. Yeah, let's open that up. Yeah, let me see. We'll try this one now. Bro, why is your head coach talking about your team this way?
He's trying to use Tom Brady as a reason why he doesn't get fired.
You know what? This is why I love you. Like I said, you're a man that's going to tell the truth.
He's trying to use Tom Brady as a reason why he cannot get fired.
He is subliminally sending to the owner and the GM. He's calling his own fucking plays. He's a Madonna, and I don't know what to do with him. What do you want me to do with this guy? He's calling his own plays. He's picking them on the sideline. I told you he was never going to listen to Byron Leftwich. He barely listened to Josh McDaniel. They had to sit down and come up with a playbook that they both agreed on. I think he's going to get Byron. I think Brady gets Byron Leftwich fired, and I don't think any owner or GM fires Tom Brady or trades him or replaces him.
So here's a conspiracy theory that I'm going to give you.
Oh, I love these.
And this is one we have never talked about in conversations. This is the first time you're going to hear this.
Oh, good. Let me get my shock face on.
Is this the reason why the Patriots never surrounded Brady with talent?
Wow.
Is this the reason why? Because it's interesting to me, the year that he had Randy Moss, right, you saw a lot of deep shots, and he
lit up the league.
He was airing it out. But as he got older, the Patriots shrinked the playbook. It was more short to intermediate, a lot of checkdowns. They had quality running backs.
Mm-hmm.
But they were quality receivers that can stretch the field. Never stretch the field.
Right.
Was it because they were trying to protect Brady from himself?
Protect him from himself for what? That he would throw interceptions, that he would go nuts?
That he would start throwing bombs, throw 15 yards down the field. So if you don't have guys that can do it, then it's just the receivers can't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now they can control Brady, back to your point, and he can't make his own play call because, hey, we're calling our short stuff anyways because we don't have a choice. Now you put him in Tampa with an all-star team, because that's what I'm going to call it. It's an all-star team, skill position-wise, with offensive line, and not so much.
Yeah.
But receiver-wise, running back-wise, it's a Pro Bowl staff. As far as players they have out there, right?
Yeah.
So is he trying to prove too much? Is Brady being his worst enemy?
I think it's like you said.
Himself.
I think it's like you said, man. There's nothing he hasn't seen. I don't think he respects Byron Leftwich in his opinion. I think he looks at the playbook. He's like, this playbook isn't complicated. It's just stupid. This makes no sense. Scrap this. We're running this. We're doing that. He's doing his, like you said, he's doing his own thing. And it looks that way because when you have your play and you call your own play and your own shot, the other guys don't necessarily know what you're looking for out of that play. Does that make sense? Right. Especially if you don't rep it enough. If you're just trying to go in between plays and series to call plays and do, and it could be like you said. I think I told you this. It could be very well that the game, if he's calling plays and he's doing his own thing on the sideline, it could very well be like Leftwich just says, "Hey, listen, man, we're running this play. We're throwing to Brady. That's what I want you to do. I'm the freaking OC. Do what I say. Throw it to Brady." And okay, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to do this. And he throws it to Brady to show him,
so
this is what's going on, boss.
I don't know if Tom Brady would do that because his legacy, his status within the NFL is more important to him than it's almost like saying he's trying to lose on purpose.
No, I'm not saying lose on purpose.
You know what I mean?
I really don't think he saw the safety go over, but I'm telling you.
He's staring the guys down. I mean, both interceptions were bad.
They were
and he almost
horrible.
had a third one that Mike Evans broke up.
Yes. And I think this is what I'm trying to say. If the safety never flies over, that ball was 4 to 5 yards ahead of Brady. He was never going to catch it whatsoever. It was 4 to 5 yards ahead of him. Not luckily, but a safety came over top and intercepted it. That's the part where I think he's like, I want to overthrow the guy. I want to win the game. I didn't want to throw an interception. Shit. You know what I mean? I think improving a point to Leftwich, he screwed himself because when you look at the playbook, when you look at the play that goes on, Mike Evans is open.
And
Godwin's open
as well.
And Antonio Brown's by the sticks waiting for an out route. Why we go take that deep shot, I have no idea. I felt like he was told to do that. That's just me. Again, and I know he's calling his own plays, but maybe he was frustrated. I don't know. But whatever's going on in the Buck world, you have your head coach bashing your starting quarterback. You had Cooper Kupp on defense go ham with 11 receptions and 145 yards. And Robert Woods, 12 receptions. And this guy had freaking 130 yards with a touchdown. They just torched your secondary. They just completely, and it wasn't, well, I'm not going to say torch. It was yards after the catch that really got them their yards, poor tackling, and it was just really bad for the secondary. But you got all those things going on. Bruce better settle down, especially since he's the quarterback whisperer. Maybe Brady doesn't want to listen to him. Like, yo, look, man, I'm not doing Johnny Unitas and Joe Namath freaking throws here, okay, buddy? Just freaking follow me to the promised land type deal. Maybe Tom is drinking his own juice. I don't know. But you got troubles in Bucs world, and now you got the Chiefs that you have to play. And after watching the Chiefs play, this past weekend against the Raiders, bro, they're not fucking around. So this is going to be a must-win for your Bucs, which brings us into the pick'em. Who do you have, Bucs or Chiefs?
I don't recall Tom Brady losing 2 games in a row.
And then there's that.
I don't think it starts now. I'm going Bucs. It's actually I wish the game was in Kansas City, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no worries.
I feel better about it. But the Chiefs are coming here to Tampa, so I'm going Bucs.
I'm going to go Chiefs.
Of course.
I think the kid gives him his 2 losses. I think it's Turkey Day. I think not Tom Brady, but your offensive line eats so much that's weak that they become even lazier than what they were. Right. They're even lazier than what they were. Sticking with the NFL, we'll get college here in a second. Sticking with the NFL, we got some really good games on Turkey Day. We got Texans versus the Lions. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Texans. Lions just got shut out by the Panthers.
Yeah, they did.
When's the last time we saw a shutout?
Literally this past Saturday, or last Saturday, in Little League football. I saw.
Okay,
I seen those. I haven't seen one, man.
I haven't seen one in a long time.
Yeah, you can't even get 3 points is terrible. Like, you can't get 3. Here's the battle for first place here in the shittiest division. Oh, I'm sorry, Texans. Let me get that on record. I'm going to go Texans.
I'm sure that was clear.
Yeah, I got Deshaun Watson on my fantasy football. I'm going for this guy.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, my Deshaun Watson. In the worst division in history, I'm going to put that out there. You have the Washington football team versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys coming off a big win against the Vikings. Washington, I'm not going to say big win over Cincinnati because it's Cincinnati, but playing very well against the team, looking like a good defense. Who do you have winning this game? Again, they're both 3-7.
They're both 3-7. Last week I talked about, or on Sunday during our fantasy football show, about Zeke getting over 100 yards. I had him as being a riser for me.
You did.
I'm going with the Cowboys. I think they get two W's here back to back for the first time this year.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're going with them. That's who you're riding with.
That's it. I'm going with the Cowboys on Turkey Day.
Zeke usually shows up on Turkey Day too.
He does. God. The last time I remember Zeke jumping against Salvation Army Bowl on Turkey
I remember that. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Dallas as well. I did not think the rocket rifle, red rifle, whatever you want to call them, was going to show up that game and really play. He played very well that game. Kept the chains moving. He did very well. I'm gonna go with Dallas as well. I'm gonna take Dallas as well, man. Here's a great game on Thursday night, on Turkey night. Ravens versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, of course, being undefeated. Ravens coming off a loss to the Titans. Who do you got?
Steelers. They move on.
See, I got them too. God, dog, this is gonna be. I'm gonna have to get my wins in college.
5 players on COVID. Running game is struggling. Lamar Jackson don't have anybody to throw to. Yeah. Ravens.
It's a no-brainer.
The Steelers are coming off of a nice little win against Jacksonville. They seem bored. Now, I hope the Steelers don't get bored. Yeah. That's the only thing for them is now they know 5 players aren't going to play.
Right.
Do they start to overlook them a little bit and get caught sleeping, after a nice little Turkey Day? It's an 8:00 game. That's the only concern that I have, but I still think they pull it out.
I do too, and I pray and hope that nobody on the Ravens gives COVID to any Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
I do think that some of the Titans players gave it to the Ravens. Ravens have it. I think the Ravens, maybe somebody who doesn't show symptoms still has it and possibly gives it to a Steeler because it's looking like that's the only way the Steelers are going to slow down is by COVID. But I'm going with Pittsburgh as well. Moving over to college, we got to go quick because you got your fantasy stuff. We have the Battle of I-4. We have our USF Bulls playing UCF Knights. Who do you got?
UCF by a lot.
Oh God! And it hurts to say that because you want the home team to win. You want the
USF is rolling out with the slime jerseys.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to be all neon green jerseys, so you're going to see them get their ass kicked.
Oh, great! But they're going to look well doing it. That's good. We have Notre Dame versus North Carolina.
I'll let you go first, bud.
Okay, and I'm happy. I'm happy you said that. Thank you for that. I hate Notre Dame,
I know you do.
and because of my hate, I can't pick them. So I know Notre Dame is a better football team than North Carolina. I am praying that North Carolina does what North Carolina always does and just upsets and wrecks shop on somebody's season. I've seen them do it time and time again. I hope they can slow down that run game that Notre Dame has. I am going for North Carolina along with William McDonald.
Here's a shocker for you, bud.
What's up?
Notre Dame has won too many games this year.
Yeah.
They're 8-0.
They're on upset alert.
They are due for one.
I
told you a couple weeks ago, I felt Miami was due for one, and they were just etching it out, coming back on the last drive of the game and barely winning. I said, you better be careful.
Right.
I think this is Notre Dame hiccup. It's in North Carolina.
Yeah.
North Carolina runs a tempo offense.
They do.
That does give teams problems. I think North Carolina pulls the upset. I'm agreeing with you here.
Okay, then we're gonna do this together. We're gonna sit there on our couches and pray that they beat them.
Oh, me, you, and Will McDonald. All three of us.
A trifecta just of trying to get these guys to lose. Last game to pick is Texas versus Iowa State. Iowa State has been playing phenomenal, by the way. Who do you got?
Texas.
Oh boy, here we go.
Everything great happens in Texas. It's a Texas game. It's being played in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I'm going Iowa State, man. Going Iowa State. I saw their offense. Huh? There it is. One pick. One pick will be different. That'll be the game, and I'll know Saturday if I'm going to be drinking a lot or not.
Well, hold on. In our special edition, which I think I know we're both going here. Mike Tyson, even though they're not declaring a winner. Yeah. It'll be obvious by watching the fight who was
How
the
2020
winner.
Is that, though? I'm not going to pick a winner. How 2020? We're all going to call. We all know who's going to win the freaking fight.
Who are you picking to win that fight?
I'm going with Iron Mike just because he scares me in my sleep. You know what I mean? I'm not scared of a man that boxes in sandals.
Now, I got to commend you, man. So last week, this is give the fans a quick recap. I know we got to move on. Last week, you went 7-0.
I had a perfect pick'ems. Yeah, if I bet on the tickets, I would probably won a couple $1,000. Yes,
you would have been all right.
Yep.
Unfortunately for you, though, I went 6-1.
Yeah. But it's good to be perfect. It's good to be perfect,
and that's all that matters. I have not been perfect all year long.
It's okay, man.
So you were the first. You
were
there for the first one.
Yeah, I'm a slow starter. Then now these onesie twosie picks, we're gonna start rolling in here in a little bit.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm a late bloomer. That's what it is.
All right. So moving on to our fantasy football here, guys. We're gonna talk about we're gonna start with quarterbacks first, and we're gonna rapid fire this here. We're gonna give you guys that you should think about starting. Again, we're not talking about the normal guys, the guys that are every day in your line. We're not talking about Mahomes or Josh Allen or even Raul's, Deshaun Watson. Those are guys that are locked into your lineup no matter what happens each day of the week. What we're going to talk about is the other guys. Now, the first one, sleeper for me at quarterback, is your guy, Tua. He gets, when you get benched for having a bad game, the team you want to play the next week is the New York Football Jets.
Absolutely. I agree.
And here they come. Yep. Here they come. It's like a great medicine, the doctor ordered. So you get the Jets. I think Tua plays well. He has a great little bounce back game. If you're looking for a quarterback again, here's the situation. I got Lamar Jackson. I got Tua. I'm playing Tua this week over Lamar Jackson. That's going to shock some people, but that's what I go with. You got Lamar Jackson playing the top defense against quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You got Tua playing against the worst defense against quarterbacks. To me, that's a no-brainer. Also, if he's out there free agent, Derek Carr has been lighting it up. We talked about him earlier on the show. He gets the 32nd ranked Falcon defense in a dome. I think he's going to tear it up there as well. If you need a quarterback here for this week, definitely look at those two guys. And then we move into running backs. Last week I told you guys about Ahmed, running back from Miami. He showed up, showed out, did well. Okay. This week I'm going to give you a different guy. Okay. And again, the guys that we talk about on the show are not the ones that everybody's thinking a whole lot about. Wayne Gallum. He's a running back for the New York Football Giants. My apologies. He's get the pleasure of playing against Cincinnati, who just lost Joe Burrow. They're going to be deflated. They're going to walk into this game knowing they don't have a chance. And I think you're going to have Wayne Gallup run wild in this game this week. A popular pickup is going to be Gus Edwards on the waiver wire, right? You got no J.K. Dobbins. You got no Mark Ingram. You're like, oh, let's start a RB1 this week and get a lot of touches. He's playing against Pittsburgh defense. I wouldn't touch Gus Edwards at all. If you're looking for a running back to kind of plug in this week, again, a little further down than what people may have him, one guy that I like a lot going into the week is David Montgomery. He gets the Packers, who are 31st against running backs this year. You figure Nick Foles, or it doesn't matter who's that quarterback for them, they're going to dump it to the running backs and a lot of check downs. I like David Montgomery to have a solid week. Flipping over to our receivers, again, those guys have been star-studded. Adam Thielen, in breaking news, is on the COVID list.
Yes, he is.
Okay. So he didn't have it. He didn't test positive, but he came in contact with someone. He may not get cleared in time to play the game this weekend. If not, Justin Jefferson, you got to move him all the way up there because he's going to get the ball a ton that week. But again, if he doesn't, you kind of, readjust there. One guy that I like a lot this week, Robbie Anderson. He's playing against Minnesota. You kind of saw what Andy Dalton did to Minnesota's defense. Amari Cooper had a good week. Gallup had a good week. CeeDee Lamb had a phenomenal catch in the end zone.
Oh, yes. One for the ages.
You're starting to see that defense for Minnesota break down. Robbie Anderson has had great weeks. He gets Teddy Bridgewater back this week. Definitely a guy to think about playing if you're in a situation. A guy that, I was down on him last week. He reminded me of who he was Mike Evans. I had him ranked 29th on my board.
Big man.
Last week.
Big man shit is what happened. He listens to the show, and he was like, how dare you, George?
Bully Mike showed up and had 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. He gets Kansas City. So, it's one of those matchups. Kansas City is 4th against receivers. I still think Mike Evans does well. Plug him into your lineup. I think he's going to have a great day. And then a guy that has kind of been, where has he been? Amari Cooper. He's had quarterbacks. He
always disappears, man.
He shows up back up on Turkey Day. I just talked about Dallas predicting them to win against the Redskins, against the football team.
Washington football team.
Yes, you're not allowed to say that anymore. I think he shows up. And then as a flyer, if you're looking for guys, he may be available in your league, Michael Pittman Jr. Yes, the son of former Bucs running back Michael Pittman with the guns. His son is receiver for the Indianapolis Colts.
Write this down.
He's been doing nothing but ball the last couple weeks. The last 2 weeks against Tennessee, 7 catches, 100 yards. Last week, 3 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. So he's a guy that Phil Rivers seems to start to like a little bit more now. Definitely get him. If you can't pick him up, start him. He's going to play huge dividends. Now, last week during our fantasy football show, I told you guys about the Dalton Schultz. He's a tight end for the Cowboys. Dalton coming back was going to be a check down, and he delivered. Okay. 4 catches, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Got you 12.5 points from your tight end position there. You cannot go wrong with him. I think this week you're going to see more of the same. You're going to see him definitely throw the ball there. Now, I got to definitely look into picking up is Jordan Reed. He's coming off of a bye. Right before the bye, he played New Orleans, 5 catches, 62 yards. He gets another week of getting acclimated with his quarterback. He gets the Rams, right, who we just saw Gronk and Brady have some success against that defense. Being that he's only tight end, I think he's going to have 5-6 catches and a potential score there as well. So there you have it. That is the rapid fire fantasy football takes of the week, Raul. What are your thoughts?
I love it, every single one. You called that Cooper Kupp, man. You called that one. He was going to have a huge game, and he sure did. He came through with a lot of fantasy points for a lot of guys that took your advice. They hit us up on email saying, thank you, good job. At the last minute, which, by the way, I don't know who in your league doesn't have Cooper Kupp, but that you read the email. The freaking guy picked him up last minute, and he showed up big for him to win the game. So I love all your picks, man. And listen, so the audience understands and knows this. You're gonna have your own fantasy podcast every Wednesday, right? We're gonna do this every Wednesday, fantasy football. That way you can ask questions, you can email us, you can hit us up on Facebook, do all that stuff, and we can answer some of those questions. Hell, we're even gonna have a phone number for you so you can call in and ask George your damn self some of the questions and debate him and talk numbers and see if you can outmatch his wits and his his number stats live on the show. So I think it's going to be great every Wednesday having a fantasy football. I think you're going to be phenomenal. I also think these guys just take you for granted. They don't understand how much knowledge you're dropping on them. They don't understand that. They don't get it.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped, man. We're gonna have a show just dedicated to fantasy football. It's something that I've been doing for a ton of years as far as research and kind of playing in leagues and stuff. And after this Sunday when we did the live show, I was getting text messages and messages on Facebook, but hey, should I start this guy? Should I start that guy? I get that all the time. And so we're going to dedicate a show on Wednesdays right before Thursday. That way you get to sit your lineups on Thursday and going into the weekend. Who should you pick up? Who do you want to start? Who do you want to sit? That way you're making the choices that are going to impact your team positively and not be like, man, I wish I would have done this or done that. So I'm excited for it. It kicks off next Wednesday. It'll be our first one, and we'll do it every week from that point going forward. I'm pumped.
I think it's going to be great, man. I think it's going to be an awesome show, especially some of these guys that come on there and they're just like you. They're numbers guys, and you know how numbers guys get. You guys debate for hours. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. That's all the time we got, man. I think it was a full-packed show. I think you got everything you wanted from it. You got a great turkey story. You got some good NFL insight. You got some good college stuff. Please be safe on Thanksgiving. I wish you and all your families a happy, safe Thanksgiving. Do not put a turkey in the fryer that has not been defrosted for over a day and a half. Don't be like my jackass and do something stupid. But listen, honestly, with all the crazy stuff that's going on, and 2020 has been a rough year. If you haven't lost anybody through COVID, if you're still doing healthy, if you still got your job, you're still doing well, be thankful for everything you got. Take care of your family, love each other, and just listen, man. Enjoy the day. Don't try to fight on Thanksgiving Day. No family problems. Leave that stuff at the door when you walk in and just enjoy just being around each other, at least for one day. So I love you, George, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family and everybody else out there in Tampa and around the nation, man.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll bring up in regards to that, too, as we close out the show, I was reading an article this morning about Zoom. So if you can't see your loved ones for whatever reason, Zoom is actually doing free Zoom calls where you can download Zoom. Normally, you have to have a paid subscription to be on Zoom for longer than 40 minutes. You can be there as long as you want. So if you got an uncle, a sister, a cousin, a loved one that's out of state that normally comes in, you can set up a laptop, set up an iPad, put them at a seat of the table, put them on Zoom. You can run it there it's free the entire day, unlimited hours. You can utilize Zoom on Thanksgiving Day. It kicks off starting literally at 12:01 Thanksgiving Day, going throughout the entire day. So definitely an option for you guys. Isn't not a paid advertisement either. So Zoom didn't call us to say that to you guys. But again, have a great Thanksgiving. Raul, I'm thankful for you and doing this podcast. Something that, we'd always talk about it and joke around. But you guys to pull the plug on it. And here we are with episode 49, 50 kicking off. And we're going to have a special episode 50. So you're not going to want to miss it. Till then, guys, you're on the clock.